Kaboom.
Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the AIB Show. This is Amit.
And Dominic.
And for those of you who are one more time, frequent, I have retainers in because I'm trying to get my Invisalign going on. Frequent listeners, you're going to hear a limited background noise out of Dominic today because he decided to go inside a house for once. Except he also chose to do it when his wife is cooking food. So I don't know how this is going to play out. We may hear some of the kitchen
What do you mean
dynamics happening.
once? It was one time I was outside.
Bridget, you're outside like 9 million times, dog. We have videotape evidence, bro. Yeah. We have videotape evidence, son. It's not making this up as I go along. This is part of the game. But yeah, so it is Friday morning, 8:30. Talk to me, Dominic. What we got?
It's actually Monday morning.
Oh yes, well played. Well played.
Brittany Griner.
Yeah.
For those of you who don't know, one of the stars of the WNBA, 7-time All-Star, 2-time Olympic gold medal winner. The name is instantly recognizable to any WNBA fans.
And you hit mute while you're talking.
And to many sports fans as well. You know, Casual is kind of one of the few names I know in the WNBA.
I was going to think about that. I don't know anybody's name. I didn't know her name, honestly.
I know a few. I actually watched the game last year, and I couldn't believe, this is going to sound very stereotypical, I couldn't believe how much I liked it. So I was shocked.
So that's part of why I wanted to have this conversation with you about Brittany Griner, because I remember back in the day, like, was it Cheryl Swoops? Right?
Yeah,
there was a couple of their names, right? There was a couple of names back in the day when the WNBA first came around. Like, I'll put it this way. Can you name me 5 WNBA teams?
Oh, no. I could name 5 players. The teams? Probably no. Los Angeles Sparks.
Is it
Phoenix
still?
Sun.
No, it's not Phoenix Sun, dummy, because the way Phoenix Suns is it?
Oh, yeah.
It's something related, but it's not. It's like the Comets or something, but it's not Suns.
There was Houston Comets. I don't know if they're still around. That's who what's her name? Cheryl Swoops was on.
Okay, see. But that's my point, right? My point is it's
Phoenix Mercury.
Okay.
Yeah, I can't name 5 teams.
All right. Before you get into Brittany, the one reason I mentioned this because there are people who are saying that, like, this particular news story, which I'm just going to get into the nuances about, isn't getting the proper attention it deserves, right? Because this is somebody who is, in essence, stuck in Russia. And I'm a practical person, so I understand that dynamic and that outcry, but I also understand the fact that the entire sport, based on that quick interaction between Dominic and I, is something that isn't, in of itself, getting a lot of attention. Right now, there are niche markets for everything, and I totally understand that. But I'm saying on a grand
scale, it is a rapidly over the past 2 years. The year over year, from this year to last year, the ratings have shot up like 39%, and prior to that, the increase was like 24%. That being said, it's still their 4 major sports in America, and even soccer is below that, right? So WNBA, it's growing, but the weird thing is, I really enjoyed watching this game. Haven't watched another one since.
See, all right.
But I don't watch NBA games until the playoffs anyway.
I don't watch NBA games at all.
Yeah.
Inclusive of the playoffs. Actually, that's a lie. I watched the last Steph game. But continue. Sorry.
Watching this WNBA game, it was exciting. Like, I was texting people like, yo, you watching this? Like, it was wild. All right, so back to Brittany Griner.
Texting, man. This guy's adding color to the story to make it
100%.
sound.
This is not a Stugotz reference.
Texting, man.
Brother-in-law and someone else.
This guy, man.
Yeah,
texting his son in the other room. What are you doing in there? Come watch me. All right, continue.
So another thing we can talk about. He finally got a phone. Yeah, I wasn't very happy.
Your son?
Yeah.
All right, I get it. Let's talk about that one. All right, continue.
So she's a 2-time Olympic gold medal winner. But despite prominent success, as you know, a 7-time All-Star, the money isn't lucrative. To common folk, it is. You know, her salary is she's makes almost $228,000. So for 99% of the world, that's amazing. Mm-hmm. But for her as a professional athlete living in America, it's not. So what these WNBA players do in the off season, they play in other countries and make 3, 4, 5 times what they make stateside.
But I will say that's a lot of players in a variety of sports do that. In essence, whenever they can't earn here, for a variety of reasons, by the way. Yeah. But those aren't gendered. So when baseball players reach the end, then they go play elsewhere. When soccer players across the world reach the end of their career, they come play here.
Yeah, but not simultaneous. That's
Oh,
the
okay, all
difference.
right. You're saying the off season is
This
still
there's
another
no
season.
off
There is no
season
off
for
season.
these.
Got
There's
you.
no off
Okay.
season for these
Okay.
players because in the foreign off season they're playing in America. In the American
Hmm.
off season they're playing overseas.
Got you.
Right, therein lies the difference.
Got you.
Um, so in February, when she was going over there to play, like she's played many years. Coincidentally, tensions were skyrocketing between Russia and Ukraine over the imminent invasion of Ukraine by Russia. She landed there, and Russian authorities say drug sniffing dogs sniffed her bag, and upon her arrival, discovered weed oil in vape cartridges, which led to her arrest. Um, and for several weeks, the public did not know about this, and even for months, her representatives and family did not even issue a denial. Nothing from her. They took the strategy. It depends. What's the wisest approach for families, friends of those who are detained or kidnapped or held overseas? Is it to grab attention and make it known, or is it to appease to the respective authorities and not cause a ruckus and kind of go through the system? There's always been a debate about the wisest approach in situations like this. So they kept quiet for a while, and then when it became known, they kept quiet. Members of the U.S. public started, free Brittany hashtags, and the WNBA would have her name on the court. Um, and then funny enough, during her incarceration, the U.S. and Russia actually agreed to a prisoner exchange.
Was it agreed to? Because I saw it was proposed. I don't know if it was agreed
No,
to.
no,
That was
not
wrong.
not. You're probably thinking about the arms dealer, not the
Okay.
arms dealer.
Oh, okay. Okay. Sorry.
Yeah. So Trevor Reed, a former U.S. Marine, has been imprisoned in Russia for several years, charges of assaulting officers over there. Stateside, there was a Russian pilot who had been convicted of flying drugs. He was near the end of his term, and evidently Trevor Reed's health was failing. So authorities agreed to a swap, and people were bothered that Brittany wasn't included in that swap. And, the U.S.'s thought process was this guy's health is failing. He's not going to live if he stays over there. So Biden approved of this exchange. Brittany's family was still remaining quiet even after this. And on May 3rd, the U.S. government actually came out with a statement, interestingly enough, that says Griner is being wrongfully detained. And that's a phrase where evidently triggers some kind of international, what's the word I'm looking for? Alert and notice, where a whole other process needs to start. So from that point on, people became more vocal in May. And a lot of it came to do with the speculation of she's gay, she's black, she's a woman, kind of facts about her that don't bode well for her potential life in Russia and treatment in Russia. Then there's been talk about, I don't know how official this is though, that Russia says, fine, you can have her if Victor Bout, a famous Russian arms dealer who was sentenced to 25 years prison, and he was known as the Merchant of Death. And I guess he's the character for the movie I never saw with Nicolas Cage.
Yeah. Lord of War.
Lord of War.
Yeah.
That they'll swap a guy who's responsible evidently for the death of thousands of people. They'll swap him for Brittany Griner. To which I imagine the government is saying no. On July 7th, Brittany actually pled guilty. It came out on Thursday, July 7th. Said she did it. She didn't mean to do it. She didn't realize she was bringing it over. There's no defense. She did it. But now she faces up to 10 years. So it's going to be very interesting to see how this plays out over the next few days. And then there's the thought of, we've got probably, I imagine, tens of thousands of people pushing for Brittany. And by that, I mean, maybe somebody posts a picture on Instagram and uses a hashtag, right? No real effect, but they're fighting for her. But we've got all these people locked up here, for drug offenses, for other offenses. And it's,
well, so this is the double.
It's a weird dynamic.
Right?
Yeah, it's the weird. That doesn't mean, well, we shouldn't try and help somebody, because we have other people here. But then conversely, we never, there's no push to help all the people here who could use this same force and drive behind them to help free them.
So that's part of the reason I want to chat with you about this, because the logic is she's a public figure, right? So I get the logic of, hey, public figure in a foreign country, going through some, and a foreign country that we're currently going through some stuff with, right? But to your point, domestically, we have a lot of issues, very, very similar to this. And there's a plethora of people going through a similar thing or whatever, who aren't getting a second look, primarily because they're here and we've done this to them in our own country, if you will. On the flip side, there are people saying that if this were LeBron James, the world would stop and we would figure this out ASAP. Now, to which I say, I get that they're both basketball players, but they're not the same. Yes. They're not the same. Yeah, if I was in jail and Tom Cruise was in jail, ain't nobody worrying about a mitt. You feel me? Like, because I was an extra once and he is Tom Cruise. She's an NBA.
You could actually be like stunt double. You ever think about that?
Stunt over Tom Cruise?
Yeah.
Except he doesn't have stunt doubles. He does all the own stunts.
Really?
I would be unemployed.
Oh, I was gonna say he could make a lucrative career. I didn't know that.
Bro, do you not know he does all his own stunts? That's his whole shtick.
No, it's pretty impressive.
Hold it. You've got to be joking me.
No, did not know.
Bro,
in today's who knows?
No, everybody knows, but you. No, I'm serious. You didn't know this?
Does not know that. No.
Every movie that comes out, there's a little pre-movie about Tom Cruise doing all the stuff that's way too difficult for people to do.
We're gonna do a poll when this episode releases, and we're gonna put it on our Instagram at the AIB
show. You know Tom
show.
Cruise does all his own stunts,
right?
And you're gonna get like 100%.
I'm leaning no for most people, but anyway, go on.
All right. Either way, point being, that comparison is flawed. That comparison is beyond flawed. You cannot. They're both black. They're both play in the male and female version of our NBA in the U.S. They both are public figures. They both are not on the same caliber of public figure. They both do not have the same general impact. They're both people. So I get it all. But the reality is we all aren't afforded the same luxuries as people in whatever country, you may be in, city, state, etc. So that argument doesn't really hold water for me. As much as I feel for Brittany Griner, I don't understand the dynamic of, like, I find it to be, it's, and I've seen other things saying, hey, you should have known better. I'm not playing the shoulda, coulda, woulda dynamic here. Like, that's fine, but it sucks. I don't know. Like, I don't know what can be done in this scenario without government intervention, honestly. And I don't know how much the government's willing to get, ingrained in this, primarily because they're giving weapons, et cetera, to Ukraine. So they're only further embedding themselves in the opposite direction. So I don't know how much bargaining power you have. And to your point, you give up a war criminal, right? And in essence, you got to look at, you're not looking at these both as, well, as one human for another. You're not. You're looking at it for crimes committed. And, you're looking at other dynamics here. A political war criminal who, to your point, is responsible for the death of thousands of people versus an individual. Because a really, really, really effed up situation that she's in. But the reality is, I honestly don't know I don't know what the WNBA can do. I don't know what the NBA can do. I don't know who's got money and clout to do anything. And maybe they're the only people who can do stuff because, there are players who come and play over here, and I assume, and vice versa. And to keep that dollar flow going, on a business perspective, you could have somebody in Russia make this happen. But that's the only thing, that's the only dynamic I could see being of value here. So I just think it's effed up, but I don't think comparing it to a LeBron or somebody else like that does it any justice either.
No, it's nonsensical, quite frankly.
But literally, I read that yesterday and I chuckled and I was like, "That's not a good one."
Yeah,
I
get her fault too, and maybe she was foolish and did it, trying to bring it in.
Maybe she forgot.
And maybe she honestly didn't know.
I don't smoke, but I know people who carry this around all the time.
I don't know if we've ever talked about this. Never tell you the story of my brother-in-law getting busted for drugs at school.
You did not.
All right, real quick. So
if you know this, you're doing it in a public forum now. So just you're
no. We'll get to it. I should have probably said at the end because now if somebody stops listening. So I went to a boarding school in Florida, as you know, and he went there also. And they happened to do this is after I left. They happened to do a search of the rooms for, you know, contraband, if you will. And they searched the whole dorm. And then later on, he plays basketball. The basketball coach and the deans and everybody come and pull him out and say, "Hey, we need to talk to you." And he says, "Oh, he's thinking that they found something his roommate had, right?" And they say, "We found this." And it was a blunt. And he says, "What's that?" He literally did not even know. Like, he was that innocent. Didn't even know what that was, right? He said, "We found this in your bag." He says, "That's impossible." They said, "No, we found it." He says, "What bag?" They go and show him. He goes, "Oh my God, you're not going to believe this. That's not mine. That's Lamar Odom's."
Are you serious?
Yeah. Those that don't know, Lamar Odom, like a 15-year NBA basketball player. So it turns out,
former husband of one of the
Kardashians. Turns out Lamar Odom was going to school at University of Rhode Island, where my wife went, and they were friends. So my wife said, "Hey, my brother plays basketball. Can you give me something I can give him?" He says, "Sure." He can have my McDonald's high school All-American bag. So McDonald's high school is like the best players in the country, the top 24 players in the country. They make the McDonald's high school team every year. So this was a year after. This was Lamar's freshman year in college. The year after he made the team, he said, "Sure, give him my bag." But he gave him the bag and had weed in the bag. And yeah, so it was a whole thing. It's like, I swear, mind you, Lamar was the most known college basketball player at the time. So it was hilarious to say, no, that's not mine. That's Lamar Odom's.
But I mean, if you're gonna go with the story, that's a pretty. I mean,
throwing it out there. Yeah.
Yeah, people got to be like, all right, hold up, I gotta take pause. That's a really, really big thing to say.
Yeah.
And hold up, so did he get off?
Yeah, they believed him.
Wow. Privilege. Wow. That's, that's crazy, dude. That's pretty funny, actually. It's really funny. No, I never heard that story till now. That's an interesting one. All right, another note. R. Kelly being sentenced.
Oh, I forgot.
You forgot R. Kelly was sentenced?
Yeah.
So that's part of why I was like, all right, how is that something that's just totally like, I don't think that's gotten.
But I also forgot. I can never pronounce her name. Ghislaine Maxwell.
Okay, yeah.
Epstein's girlfriend. She also got sentenced. Yes,
yeah.
That's already out of my head. That's what I mean.
But it's, well, I guess the reason I bring up R. Kelly is because I think we had a chat about this some time ago. But can you still listen to R. Kelly music? Can you still be whatever?
I don't, but I listen to, like, if there's no comparison. For what Chris Brown did was horrible. He beat up Rihanna, but it's still no comparison. So I'll listen to a Chris Brown song. I'll watch a Floyd Mayweather fight, but I will not watch R. Kelly. I'll listen to R. Kelly songs. And
Michael Jackson?
I do, but there's less. I 100% believe he did the stuff, but there's less proof of that, if you will, that he did that stuff compared to the proof of R. Kelly. But I try to do it morally, but it's foolish. If anything, I shouldn't listen, because every time you listen, it puts money in their pockets.
True.
Even if it's a few cents, collectively, you're putting money in their pockets. And I loved R. Kelly's music, a lot of it. Some of it I found annoying, but some of it I really like. But I haven't listened to in over a decade a single song.
But hold up, is that a conscious choice, or you just haven't?
No, like, it's a conscious. It's a conscious choice.
Because I haven't, but that's because I don't listen to music very much. And if it's on, it's on.
You don't listen to music much?
Me, no.
I listen hours a day.
No. If I'm at the gym, that's where I get my music.
No,
I'm at the gym. They play whatever's playing.
Yeah, I'm music all day long.
No, I'm podcasts all day.
Yeah,
I've
lessened my podcast and increased my music.
Oh no,
my son, honestly, my son is probably at least 4 hours a day.
Of music?
Yeah, 4 or 5 hours a day.
I don't even know what's. I couldn't tell you who's popular right now.
Oh,
and I know I sound like
I'm officially old because he knows all the rappers. I don't.
Give me a rapper. Just name me who's a trending rapper right now.
Oh, you know the biggest rapper there is now, Lil Baby.
I'm not gonna lie, I have no idea who that is.
Come
I
on.
swear to God. I swear to God. Little Baby is a rapper?
Yeah, no, not little baby.
Lil, L-I-L. Sorry.
Yeah, yeah,
I'm not that old. Lil,
yeah,
I got you there. But
yeah. He's
for
the
real?
yeah.
What song with
He
Lil? Now I gotta Google this Little
he's the
Baby guy.
biggest, and the biggest one streamer on YouTube last year was NBA Young Boy. You know, Young Thug is in
I know
jail
Young
now for
Thug.
RICO charges.
Did not know that.
Yeah, a big whole thing. Killer Mike
Oh,
just
yeah.
released a song this week with Young Thug called "Run."
Killer Mike is a G. That dude's a straight up G. But okay, hold up. So now we're talking about your son. Hold up. So he's got a phone. What's going on here? He's grown up.
Yeah, I fought
How old
that.
is he?
I wasn't happy. He turns 11 in a couple months.
So why weren't you? Hold up. How is he not? You got him a phone, or he bought it with his own money? How does this work? How are you not happy? Yeah, you're part
No,
of
the wife won. Meaning, I was saying no, he doesn't need it at all. Why does he need a phone? It's asinine.
Okay, so why do you think he doesn't need a phone, and why does you think he does?
I just don't think anybody at this age needs a phone. You know, my daughter got it.
She was how old?
10 actually, but her and her friends, it was communicating because that's how they communicate. You know, calling, texting. Him and his friends, they don't do that. He would use his iPad and FaceTime them. So I'm like, if he's communicating and using his iPad, why does he need a phone? It's twofold. You know me, it's cost.
I'm with you.
But thankfully we got this cheap deal where it's free and we just add it on. But still, it's even if it's $1, it's still a cost. But also kids these days on their screens, you know, I don't need more screen time for them. Even though he plays basketball a gazillion hours a week, I just don't need more screen time. I don't think kids need the phone at this age.
And then hold up, but so why did she win? What's her take on this?
She got my mom involved.
Oh, you're done there, dog. You're not winning that argument.
And then she got involved and got it all in his head, and then it just became too much, you know.
You got your phone young as hell too, didn't you?
No, young as hell. They didn't have phones when I was young.
I'm not saying young.
17.
Young meaning
17.
Okay, yeah, you got it because you had it in college when I had a beeper.
Yeah.
Like you were like one of the first that I knew that had it all the while.
And I never had beeper. Yeah.
It's a beeper. Not never had beeper. What kind of English is that, dog? what just happened there, dude? All of a sudden you're an international student? What happened there? This guy, dude. You kicked my dog.
The best. For those of you don't know, go on YouTube and just type "you kicked my dog."
It's the best.
We've honestly watched that over 100 times over the years.
It's so ridiculous. It's amazing.
YouTube, you kicked my dog. Kerpal. Kerpal.
The most ridiculous thing in the world.
And at first you're gonna think, what are these guys having me watch? You gotta understand. You gotta get into first. But also, if you're not down with the Indian culture too, like you got to be in it and like.
I mean, I'm hoping it holds up, dude. We haven't watched that thing like a decade.
I watched it a few months ago.
Why are you watching it a few months ago? With your kids?
No. I sent it to somebody. I'm trying to think. I think I said in our chat a few months ago.
Plausible.
Absolutely.
All right. All right. On another note, so I sent it out on the Insta yesterday.
Wait. Hold that thought. Oh no, go on. I remember you answered the R. Kelly thing.
Yeah.
Oh wait. My bad. What's your opinion on things like this? Is it foolish to not listen to their music? Does it? Is it?
All right. So I'm of many minds on this because the same thing. Like I told you, and
it's like you in Publix.
Literally, exactly what I was gonna go. It's right. I do my best to not shop at Publix, primarily because of where the political stances are. Literally. Now, the reality is I can't do that all the time. There's some things that Publix just has that I need. With that being said, Trader Joe's open up downstairs. I'm covered. That Trader Joe's is going to be hit all the time. Mike, they got the salsa with the ghost pepper. I thought it's like a regular hot salsa because I was like, yo, it's Trader Joe's. How hot could it be? It's just extra hot. And I was like, that's cute. Woo, button up, man. Yo, I was not ready for that.
How's your Trader Joe's pricing compared to Publix? Because I find like for produce, it's cheaper.
Yeah, it is. Hold up. Which is cheaper?
Trader Joe's.
Yeah, I was gonna say yes. That's why. It's another reason why I'm all about that, like because I'm a produce person. But, so my point is, I try to take. I feel if I go out on a stance of saying, "Hey, there's nothing I can do about it anyway, just do whatever," and if that's what we do with the collective, then nothing ever gets done. right? So whatever little you can do as an individual to take a stance or to, because we always take moral stances on everything. So take a stance on things that matter to you, whatever they may be. I think you should. So if saying, hey, listening, I don't want to listen to this, and we're never going to be without reproach. We're always going to make mistakes. We're always going to do things that are not consistent, right? That's just kind of we're people. So, with that, like, for example, I have the public stance, if you will. But Bezos owns Whole Foods, and I've gone there a bunch of times, right? And Bezos, and I use Amazon all the while, and Apple. I know there's kids in, I know there's people in China putting together Apple products that I buy all the time. And on the flip side, I won't buy Nike shoes. So again, I am all over the place.
You just never been a Nike person. It's
correct.
Is it now because of that?
No. It helped to justify it. Well, the reason I wasn't a Nike guy didn't have anything to do with child labor. It was just because I was like, everybody else is Nike, so I'm not jumping on this back. Literally, it was just that. I just didn't want to do what everybody else was doing. There's no actual logic. And then I got in, and now I'm a Reebok Adidas. Like, I have all the Reebok classics, and I wear Reebok to the gym all day long. That's my shoe. So I have a truckload of Reeboks and some Fayviews, some China shoes, brethren, the Kung Fu shoes, things are the bomb. But
child labor.
No, but they're made for the people, by the people. Not made for us.
Easy. Damon John food.
I mean, they're not made for the American market. Now, with that being said, a French company did buy them recently, so now they're being made for the foreign market. So when they used to cost $5 in China and $20 in Chinatown or in the U.S., which, by the way, is a huge markup from $5 in China. Now they're still $20, but now there's some versions that are like $70. I ain't paying for those, but enough. I've like wholly put a $20 ones. Anyway, I take random stances on I take stances on things that I feel like can govern.
I have to Google this.
Feiyiue or VUE.
All right.
Yeah.
No, same thing. I never take plastic bags anywhere.
So there you go.
Making a difference. I refuse to ever take plastic bags.
But I think all we can do is the little that we can do to whether it's literally just to make us feel better about ourselves, whether it's to, I would say that if people, so in certain states where you can't do plastic bags dynamic, now mind you, the turtles are they're still straws and whatever else, right? I hate paper straws. I can't win every battle. So I might as well do my little part to try and win battles where I can, is all my point is. So with the R. Kelly thing, I'm at a better position only because I don't really care that much about the music dynamic, so it doesn't really affect me. But some people really, really, really get into the music and the musicians, Michael Jackson, everybody included, and I don't really care, right? Yeah. So that's where I stand there.
My bad. Do you remember what you were going to say?
Yeah, well, I was actually going to say I posted on the Insta yesterday. So there's a Soho House opening near me here in Miami. There's one on the beach right now. They're opening another one, but like really close to where I live, like blocks from where I live. And I'm not a Soho House person, but everybody I know is a Soho House person, Dominic included, as he's smiling right now. Right? Like Dominic has driven down to Miami for an hour to spend an afternoon or a day or whatever.
More than an hour, but maybe like 3 hours.
No. I'm saying you drove down. You took an hour drive down, is what I was saying.
Oh yeah.
That's what I meant. You drove an hour to spend time.
Oh, now people can use a radius and try to figure out where.
Oh yeah, that's what they want to do. I want to know where Dominic lives. Who's like this gimp can try to limp after me. To go and hang out at Soho House and sit at a pool by the beach. Like I've never understood the hype. I've been to many, don't get it, still don't get it. And when I posted that, the amount of people were like, "Yo, membership, we're doing this." And I was like, what is a we? I was like, I'm just saying. But I did say, I was like, the fact that it's literally blocked for me gives me a little more. I mean, it's more plausible. Like I'm not saying I'm anti altogether. I just don't.
I feel like the other one should be more plausible. I feel like this one is going to be the most ram jam of.
No, the reason Brethren, if I go to the beach one, I got to drive down there. I got a valet.
Okay, you got to drive to any beach, so don't put it like that. If you want to go to a beach.
That's why I don't go, because I got a valet. And now I'm spending $20 to park the car. Okay. Whatever I got to pay to hang out at the spot, independent of the membership I already done paid. People go, "Oh, I just want to go work from Soho House." And I was like, bro, just to work, it's costing me money to work now. You feel me? Like it's the opposite of what I should be doing to work.
So I think we had this debate on the show. So you are a networking person.
Yeah.
Me, I've gone through waves. I was very introverted. We once years ago, almost 20 years ago, with a friend of ours, tried to start a t-shirt company. And I don't know, I was looking at it more to just try and meet girls. And if we made money. Because we had this big plan for this huge party
Didn't
that
you
never,
have
I
a
mean, with
girlfriend?
models.
Didn't you have a
No,
girlfriend at the
not
time?
then. No.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
Yeah. Right. We had a big plans for these
We did. We
like
scoped
huge
out the
party.
venue.
The venue, we already
We
yeah,
scoped it out. Yeah, we locked
yes,
it
yes.
down
So we had this whole thing. So,
with
but
Larry.
on our business cards, I was so introverted. And I put a Mit's number on my card. So if I
Yeah.
handed it to somebody and met somebody, I was like, they got to call him. I don't want to talk to people.
And I even said, I'm like, so if a girl calls me for you, what am I doing here? I'm not, all of a sudden I'm this guy's like, this guy's receptionist over here.
So we talked about Soho House. My thought was, you're a schmoozing kind of guy, so very sociable person, connections and networks potentially there. And Amit's response was, no, everyone there would be like me, just trying to meet other people, but no one has any real value. And we had a philosophical debate there, because I think there would be people you'd run into with value, where you think, no, too many of them are more so don't have much to give, but rather want to take or look for some value.
I mean, there's outliers, obviously, but yeah, I would say generally speaking, there are a bunch of Gopals in the midst. You feel me? And because Gopal's the first one to test me, going, "Yo, getting a membership," and I was like, "Yo, you're the international sunglass,
Guru?
yeah,
Mogul,
guru,
mogul,
whatever, right?
mogul,
Mogul,
mogul.
that's what I use. Yeah,
Yeah.
I was like, you're the international sunglasses mogul, ShadyIsland.com. And I was like, bro, why do you need me? Like, you're the CEO. You sell glasses in multiple countries. You're traveling the world.
I'm somehow the stateside partner.
Oh yeah, and he was like, and he was like, your marketing director. And I was like, bro, I've done zero marketing for you ever beyond what I just did, ShadyIsland.com. So I marketed twice. But I don't think hold up. Is it
Shady-Island?
Yeah, see, I even marketed horribly.
One of our sponsors, check him out. In the Shade, inspired in Jamaica. Great economically priced sunglasses. www.shady-island.com.
But again,
check him out on Insta, shady.island.
So he wants to be there. Like, this guy texts me from he was in
South
Ibiza.
of France.
He was in Ibiza at the time.
Okay.
So he's in Ibiza, and he calls me one night, texts me, and it's like 2 a.m. or whatever in Ibiza, and I forget where it's late for me, and I'm like, why are you texting me this time of night? Driving back from the Keys or to the Keys. Either way, he goes, yo, I'm with this producer. I think he's a big wig. I think we can do some work together. And I was like, we? And then he sends me this dude's name. He sends me like a screen cap of this dude's name. So now, and he's calling me like back to back to back. I'm like, bruv, I'm driving. I'll get back to you in a second. And I do some Googling or whatever. And I'm like, hey, he's a line producer for a couple features, whatever, like some, straight to DVD stuff. Not that he's not, doing stuff in the industry. It's fine. But I was like, why are you trying to make this connect? And what do you think this is going to be for you? And he goes, yo, should I smooze him for us? Like, should I keep talking to him for us? And I was like, no, don't do anything for us, man. You're on holiday, bro. Go have a good time. Go give away some sunglasses and live the good life. Either way, so Soho House is opening, and I don't know what the cost is. I've yet to ever determine the value. And I'm curious.
I think Soho Beach House, Miami Beach, my 3,000 at most, maybe $2,400
a year, right?
Yeah. So like, I've only been to a couple. I've been to Dumbo House in Brooklyn, and yeah, but I liked Soho House because you got the beach, right? You got the pool.
This one you're talking about.
The one in Miami, on Miami Beach. You got the pool. You got the various levels of work areas, restaurant, where people are just having on their laptops, and some people are collaborating, and not. It was just more of a relax. I actually sat there, the irony, and worked. I had to work for an hour and change while my wife was at the pool and the beach, right? And just with the laptop, and it just, I like the vibe. Listen, an office, I have 3 screens. I can be very productive. My problem at the office is I eat a snack,
So going to a Soho House where they have food readily available and brought to you is better?
It's different. I'll be more this at home. I'm distracted. I like the Soho House vibe. That's it.
Hold up, you're distracted at home where you have 3 people maybe in your house and 2 dogs. But let me go to this place where there's bikini-clad women walking around and random people having meetings next to me, and a server coming up to me asking me if I want a cocktail every 2 minutes and whatever.
Not like
else.
they came.
But
They
no,
came.
I can
Not
focus.
like they came a lot.
That's what I'm saying.
Thank you, man. I'm good. I appreciate it.
That's all I keep doing. I'm like, yo, the glass is still full, bro. I'm fine, man. Give me some. You want something to eat? No, man, I'm good. I don't want the tuna tartare. And you're saying that's a more productive work environment than
It's
your
just
home.
it's just the vibe, the energy. You know,
the energy. Yeah,
it's all about the energy and the flow. You got to feel it.
That's what people said about WeWork, by the way, and where's that now?
Yeah,
right. This is. I mean, again, I don't get it, but again, I'm happy to be proven wrong. We'll see when this one opens up.
Wait, so you went to the Keys?
I went to the Keys last weekend.
Bridget, you mean like you drove somewhere that has a beach?
No, I didn't go somewhere that. Here's what's funny about this. You
went to a house. You went hours, as in like going to the Hamptons. You went hours.
Nope. We all assume that Key West is a beach-laden place.
Oh, Key West?
Not.
No. Key West. No, the Keys.
Yeah, that's where I went. No, I went to Key West.
Oh, I went to the end. You went even further.
Yeah, I went to the end. Yes. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I went to almost Cuba. I went just there. Right? Mm-hmm. Right? And I went there. Didn't get a house. Went there for one night with a bunch of friends.
Don't tell me you stayed at one of them bed and breakfasts.
No. We hotel. Bed and breakfast. This is. Went to a hotel, etc. Right? Go out, have a variety of cocktails up and down the streets or whatever. Didn't hang out by the pool at the house or at the hotel. We did that for a little bit. Then we went out to the city streets, did whatever else.
You went to bars where, like South Florida, there's
here's what I'm about to tell you. So this place now, I don't know if y'all. I've been to Key West since Lotion's bachelor party, and I didn't like it then.
That was one of the most horrific experiences of my life.
Okay, so I didn't like it then. So we go there now.
I went there probably 6 years ago.
With the family?
No,
bar crawl.
Yeah, I'm kind of a.
So we're doing some food and beverage, right? So I'm not a big Keys fan because it's pretty generic. It's like generic Americana, meaning every restaurant is like, hey, here's some conch fritters.
Dude, it's a Carnival cruise line at the bottom of America. That's what it is.
Oh, that's a good way to put it. Yeah, all right. It's the Bahamas without the massive hotels. Anyway, we go out one night. So the last bar we go to, one of the last bars we go to, I'm a little drunk at this point. It's on the third floor of this, like, it's a 3-story bar. The top floor, people legit naked. Like, it's a clothing optional bar. And I'd never heard of such a thing. And a boy, like one of the guys.
I'm assuming though, typically when people do that, it's not visually.
Oh, it's never visually what you want. Never. And this is consistent with that. But I'm talking full nakedness. Like I'm talking, we walked in, and again, I'm inebriated at this point too. And we walk in, and it's like, I don't know, we're like 5 girls, 4 guys, vice versa, whatever. And there is a woman sitting, like literally walking to my left at the bar, buck naked, just chilling, right? And by the way, anybody sitting without a shirt on, man or woman, you get the rolls in the belly, ain't a pretty sight, right?
I was thinking that.
You can't make that look good, man. And on a bar
stool, the fittest person in the world, yes.
And on a bar stool as well, like it's not a sight. So she's sitting there, right across from her is a dude naked, fully naked, sitting there as well. And I'm like, I'm never sitting on these stools. And then there's a woman dancing in the middle of the dance floor. By the way, nobody else is dancing. So there's a woman and a man behind her. He's clothed, she's buck naked, and they're dancing. She was probably the more favorable person to be naked of the rest that I saw. But either way, it was a very weird environment. And I was like, this is so strange, right? And we're all clothed. Now we're wearing like tank tops and like shorts or whatever because it's the Keys, right? So like, I'm like, it was just a very awkward environment to be a part of. I was like, all right, we had a couple of cocktails and headed out. But I didn't know that was a thing. And apparently that's many places in Key West. It's a very free-flowing nudist type vibe. Part and parcel because of the age in the demo.
I got to run, but I'm going to throw. I did not know, but speaking of nude in the Keys, I don't know if you remember your traumatizing event. You may have erased it from memory.
Probably.
So we went to a bachelor party. We went to a bachelor party, and this establishment was a strip club, but.
We went reluctantly, first of all.
Yes. How do I say this without saying it? It wasn't.
It was a strip club. If it's moms dancing, moms and grandmas.
Yes.
Are the dancers, if you will.
And this dancer from stage came up to him and tried to get near him, and he was like, "No, I'm fine, thank you, And she was all. The worst part is sweaty.
Yo, so much sweat. The humidity hit this lady
and
strong, man.
and he's like, no, and
hold up. By the way,
essentially
we're sitting next to the bar, like the stage, right? So if you've seen it, those of you who've been or familiar with, there's a long stage, like kind of like a runway. And Dominic and I are sitting. I'm sitting like the closest to the edge. Dominic is there, and then my cousin and whomever else sit next to us, laughing. And this woman comes and starts dancing, and I don't want to even look at her because if I look at her, she's going to ask me for money, and I don't want to engage her at all. I'm giving her money, but I'm not looking at her because I don't want to engage her at all because she's sweaty and gross.
And she decides to put her chest in his face.
She grabs my face and pulls it between her breasts and shakes.
Sweaty.
Right? And those of you who know me know the OCD kicked in strong. Or like there was never. You've never seen somebody
and screaming because the look of horror and shock on his face. It's one of the greatest joys of my life.
But then she did it right to you directly after because you were laughing. She did it to you.
In the area,
no, she got you. A boob hit you in the face. You're a liar. Anyway, a sweaty boob hit you in the face, and because you were laughing, and she's like, "Oh, this guy's laughing." And she got Dominic, and that made me happy a little bit. Man, I've never scrubbed my face more in a bathroom in my life, dude. It was that kind of dynamic.
I gotta run. Justice over order. Eat better. When we release this next week, we will put on the poll. Dude, yeah. Oh, watch Kerpal. You hit my dog on YouTube. KERPAL. But we'll also talk about Tom Cruise. Did you know he did all his stunts? I'm going. The audience did not know.
Yeah, you're wrong. I'm telling you right now.
Eat better.
You're gonna later. Take it easy, everybody.